Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to Maths Tech, your source of great learning. Today is the part 7/2 of the remaining practice exercise of the 7 basic rules of the exponents that so far we have covered in our earlier videos. But before we shall begin for this exercise, let's have a quick review of the 7 basic rules of exponents. Here are the 7 basic rules. When the bases are the same, we have to add the powers over here, m plus n. That's all. Second thing, multiply the exponents, m multiplied by n over here. Third rule, when the exponent in the numerator is greater than the exponent in the denominator, the condition applies when m is greater than n over here. The fourth rule, when the denominator exponent is greater than the numerator exponent, n is greater than m. The fifth rule, when your bases as well as your exponents are the same, that means that it is equal to 1. Sixth rule, to raise a product to a power, each factor of it is to be raised to that power a and b. The seventh rule, the last rule, when to raise a quotient to a power, each numerator is to be raised to that power, a raised to the power n and b raised to the power n. So now we shall begin for our exercise. The first condition was x8 divided by x12. It simply states that the denominator exponent n is greater than the numerator exponent. So what we are going to do, we will simply subtract 8 from 12. That says x8, that is your exponent m, and x12 is your exponent n. Now here n is greater than m. Simply you are going to do 1 over x 12 minus 8 and 1 over x raised to the power 4. Simply that is your answer. The second question, the 17th question, x raised to the power 21, x raised to the power 22. Now you know what to do. Simple one, x raised to the power 22 minus 21, that makes 1 over x over here. The 18th question, here your m is greater than the denominator exponent. Look, here the m is greater and the n is smaller. So a plus b 16 minus 14, that will simply give you a plus b raised to the power 2. Now here it is an interesting question. It says y raised to the power 16, and in the denominator you are watching this a minus sign, but don't worry about this minus sign. You can write this one as simply minus y16 over y4, or you can write it as minus y16 in the middle, this minus sign, y4. What you have to concentrate on these exponents. Here it is 16, here it is 4. What you are going to do, simply y16 minus 4, and your answer is y raised to the power, minus y raised to the power 12. That is your final answer. Now let's move on to the other page. Here it is a question number 20, and it also quite like this, but here what we have to do, just I have told you, yes, watch this exponent. Here your n is greater, but don't worry about this minus sign. And here it is also a minus sign in the numerator. This is your minus sign. What we have to do, these both of these minus signs will cancel out each other. Simple. It's quite simple. So now perform the rest of the simplification process. That is 1 over y 5 minus 2, 1 over y 3. That is your answer. Here it says 12 raised to the power, t raised to the power 12 dot t w5 and w raised to the power 7. What are you going to do? T raised to the power 12 plus 1. First you have to add the powers over here, keeping the bases are the same over here. Then here the same simplification process will apply over here of the rules that you have to add the powers because of the bases are the same. 5 plus 7. So here it is 12, 13, T 13 and W 12 over here. 22nd question. Oh, it looks somewhat weird, but don't worry about it. Simply x raised to the power 4 over 5. What you are going to do, simply you can write it as x raised to the power 20 over here in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Because this x raised to the power 4 multiplied by 5 can be multiplied by 1 and it can be placed in the numerator, and the same x raised to the power 4 multiplied by 5 that will come over here. So here the condition says that it is equal to 1. Why? A raised to the power n, b raised to the power n, that equals 1 over here. Now here we have 23rd question, minus y3 and divided by y5. What we are going to do, we don't have to worry about this minus sign any longer. We know that we can place it in the numerator or in the denominator or in the middle. Simply, okay, let me place it over here. So 1 over y5 minus 3, that will give you 1 over y square, and this minus sign can be placed over here, or you can simply write it as minus 1 over y square. Our 24th question, yes, you can guess it very easily. To raise a quotient to a power, simply it says a raised to the power 5 and b raised to the power 5. That is quite simple. Now our 25th question. 3 raised to the power. Yes, to raise a quotient to a power, simple. What we have to do? We only have to raise the numerator to that power and the denominator to that power. So 3 raised to the power 3, x raised to the power cube over here. So 3 multiplied by 3, 9, 9 multiplied by 3 is 27, and it is over x cube over here. So here it is minus x square and minus x. First we can multiply easily. When minus is multiplied by minus, it will give you a positive sign over here. Now here the bases are the same, x square as well as x over here. What are we going to do? Simply we will add the powers over here. X2 plus 1 is equal to x raised to the power 3. That is your answer. Here now 2x raised to the now here it is 2x whole 4. We can simply write it as 2 raised to the power 4x 4 over here. 2 multiplied by 2, that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. That will give you 16. In the end, 16x raised to the power 4. That is your answer over here. Now here it is a raised to the power 7 and b raised to the power 7. To raise a product to a power, each factor of it is to be raised to that power. This was the principle applied over here. Now here it is looks somewhat different, but it is also quite simple. You can simply write it as 330 divided by 5 to raise a quotient to a power. Now simply divide 30 by 5, that will give you 6, 6 raised to the power cube, that, and the answer is 216 over here. And here it is also quite simple. Simply this is your question over here. X raised to the power a square, and this is y a b of the, and your question was x a and y b. That was your question. That was the last question, and this is the end of this exercise. Hope that you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you can get instant notification about the new videos regarding the rest of the rules of the exponents as well as the other exercises. Thank you. Thanks for your time.